Gregatron here. Yeah, it's recording.
You dick.
Shut up. Gregatron with friend here, brother over here. You guys can say your names.
Kenny.
Wes.
Lee.
Yeah, we just seen a new movie. A movie we've been looking forward to for a little bit.
2 months now.
We're some Resident Evil fans, so.
All the time, every day.
We
all
rented the whole series. Watched it all week. Leading up to today.
Day. Indeed.
Leading up to Retribution. I just like saying that.
That is a long name, but yet it just interests you to hear it.
Retribution.
Retribution.
Alright, now, we'll start with you. What'd you think about this movie?
Alright, first off, I just want to say I'm a big fan of the movies, and I like the special effects. They had good effects with the CGI and everything. I like the fight scenes were good, the hand-to-hand combat scenes were good, and I like the slow motion effects that they did in this movie.
Yeah, I think the slow motion in the last movie was kind of excessive. And yeah, they had some slow motion aspects in this one, but it wasn't as bad as the fourth movie. But he talked about hand-to-hand combat, man. The hand-to-hand combat was pretty cool at some parts. But like kind of towards the end when Leon and what's it, Luther, and they're fighting that one lady who was
part of the umbrella. With Jill.
Yeah, not Jill, but the lady with the black hair. When they were fighting her, it looked too obvious that they're acting like they weren't even. It didn't even look like their hits were really connecting.
Oh, it looked like her hits were connected.
Yeah, she
was beating that.
She tore them up.
Man.
But anyway, let's not talk about the action just yet. The story. So the transition to me was excellent. You know what I'm talking about, the end of the last movie?
I will tell them the end of the last movie.
Go right ahead.
Basically, they so-called defeated.
Who is they? Who is they?
Chris, Claire, Redfield, and Alice.
There you go.
They thought in their minds that they beat Wesker at the end until he escaped. Yet they freed everyone off the top of the boat. The boat.
Freedom from the boot?
Maybe.
Continue.
They freed everyone on top of the boat, including Kmart. And then once everyone thought they was free and ready to go. By the way, this boat is Arcadia. By the way.
Yeah, the
ship.
Which
they thought was.
The ship is pretty significant.
They thought it was in Alaska, but it's actually some ship.
In the middle of the ocean.
Like by California.
It's basically like a promised land. It's like the only place where there's hope for humans, because everywhere else there's zombies. So the transition was nice because at the end of the fourth movie they show the helicopters come in, and then the beginning of the fifth movie that's where it takes off. So good transition.
Yeah, good transition. They show Umbrella. They just swarm in, try to contain.
They do work.
They try to contain.
Jill gets hers.
Guess they figure out.
Jill gets hers. Yep.
Guess they figure out. I had a few.
Go ahead.
Well, basically, they just try and contain. I guess they thought something went down on the Arcadia, which they were right. So they come in, and the first scene in Retribution is just Umbrella coming in and trying to clean up the messes like they always do in the previous movies. Every time there's an outbreak or anything goes wrong within a corporation, they come in, and they're swift. They fix it. So that's the first scene.
They're like the go-to guys for situations like this. But what I didn't get. Well, first I want to say it was good to see Jill again. We hadn't seen Jill since the second movie. One of my favorite characters. More power to Jill. But what I didn't like was what happened to Chris?
What happened to Claire?
What happened to Claire?
They were just on top of the boat.
What happened to my Redfield family, who we know and love? They were on top of the ship at the end of the fourth movie. Then later in this fifth movie, they bring Leon in, which is awesome news. Leon. They brought him in. Then they brought
Luther.
Thank you. They brought Luther in, which was real good news. It's always good to have a black guy, isn't that right?
That actually lives throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Every time. Does not die in the beginning.
Man, don't give the movie away.
I am so sorry.
Well,
I did not say that.
Well, I'll just put spoilers on the title. But Luther and Leon, they were in there, and some other characters, which was really nice. But what happened to Chris and Claire? That was to me a gap. So I really didn't like the movie as much as I would have. They could have at least explained those two or gave reference. What happened to Kmart? Did Kmart get shot? Because if she did, they didn't show it. They didn't show her get captured.
No, what I just assumed is Umbrella, you know, even if it takes when they clean up their work, it includes killing people. So I just assumed they killed Chris and
I don't think
Claire
so.
because they were a hindrance
They were
to
a threat.
Umbrella in the last movie. They were against Wesker, and Wesker's the head of the Umbrella Corporation. So
No,
I'm thinking Umbrella just killed him and got him out of the
no,
way.
I don't think Umbrella would have killed Chris and Kmart and Claire, because they needed Alice, right? And Alice was on the same side as Chris and them. So why would they kill off Chris, right?
Because Chris isn't important as Alice. They need Alice. They don't need Chris though.
Man, they could have explained it.
They could have just put them in the movie instead of just leaving a gap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They could have said something about him instead of us having us leaving guessing at the end of the movie.
Chris.
That's pretty much on everyone's mind. Where are they two at?
Yeah.
They were Alice at the end of the fourth. They expect to see him at the beginning of the fifth. You know what I mean?
I think they didn't kill him. I think that they captured them. They didn't want to show it that way. In the sixth movie, they can bring those two back, and then they'll have the device on their chest, kind of like what Jill had. I think that would be better story.
I think.
See, they probably wouldn't do that because
Because we're too used to seeing that with Jill.
no, they just probably wouldn't do that. They have enough people working for them. They wouldn't need more.
But then
they wouldn't
again, yeah, you're right.
Need Chris and Claire Redfield working for them.
There'd be no point for them to have the device on their chest
Yeah.
because Alice is working with Umbrella now
Yeah.
anyway. So you think they're just dead? I thought the story was pretty decent, but they were underground the entire movie. That kind of took it away from me. It was about a 2 hour long movie, and they were basically trying to escape the whole movie. So I like the movie, but at the same time, I wanted them to be doing something different. You know.
Yeah.
What do you want to add?
I just say that was 2 months worth waiting for, and
What do you mean 2 months?
I've been waiting 2 months since I seen a preview for this movie.
Oh, I was about to say it's been in production. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, I say that I give it about a. Are we doing a grade scales now? Or what?
You can go ahead.
I give it about a 8.5 out of 10 on it. It's been good to me, so
8.5. I can't give it that high. I gotta give it a. Like looking at the whole series, you know, the first one was excellent to me. The second one's my favorite. This one here, I'll give it a 7. I think that's pretty fair. What about you?
I'd probably give it around an 8.5, like Kenny. I mean, you don't just look at it as a movie. You want to look at the
You
whole
have to
series.
compare. Yeah, it's a series.
I mean, it's good. There's still story from the past movies. Like there has to be, and to see it progress all the way to what happens in this fifth movie, I thought was good. How they put stuff together. It still stays true to the very first movie and everything. Most of the events
I wouldn't say that.
that have happened in the past 4 movies.
I wouldn't say it stays that true because like each movie is like less horror. Like the first movie is actually pretty scary. The second movie is like, oh man, this is really really bad. This is still pretty scary. The third one's not really scary at all.
nope. It's actually
The
pretty
fourth
cool.
one is more of an action movie, and now this one is another action movie. So I wouldn't say it. I don't know. It's like it changes up a little bit every time.
It's just the way the years.
Has to be.
years-
They can't all just be
It's just the way the years
too similar.
progress.
They have to change things up a bit.
They actually change
different.
a lot.
Different plots, different stories.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good for the Resident Evil
It was nice to have
franchise.
It was nice to have Alice, you know, of course, she is the main character, but she's always fun. it was really nice to see Leon though, and Jill.
Don't get too much of that in movies.
Yeah.
Always get to see.
So let's go over this one more time. The story was pretty nice. You know, it was pretty linear. They just needed to escape. The action, pretty good action scenes. Hand-to-hand combat was alright. Effects.
Slow motion, not as much as the last one, but yeah, decent.
Slow motion, don't really care for that. Horror aspects, minimum. You already seen our reviews. I gave it a 7,
8.5.
8.5. So go ahead and see it if you're a Resident Evil fan. Go ahead and check this out. But I'm waiting for his Resident Evil 6, the video game.
May I present the date? I gotta get this off my
Go ahead and tell him the date, Kenny.
October 2nd, next month, I will be in the line. At midnight, the date of it, I will be in line getting it.
Yeah. That'll be a whole nother video.
I will be there, I don't care how long, until I have the game in my hand.
You gotta pre-order it, man.
Oh yeah, you did tell me about that.
Yeah.
Still, I will be in there in the line getting it. Pre-order, I don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
I will have it in my hand. I'm not leaving the store until I have it in my hand.
We need to wrap this up. You want to wrap it up or what?
I don't care.
Go ahead and wrap it up.
Alright, so, I mean, if you guys want to see the new Resident Evil, I would recommend it.
It's also in 3D.
Yeah, it's in 3D and IMAX. I would recommend it if you like action movies, and even if you haven't seen the movies before, if you're an action movie fan, you'll like it. But like I said, if you haven't seen it before, they do a pretty good recap at the beginning of the movie, so they get you up to speed,
Yep.
and you'll be able to pretty much understand it. Then later, you might want to go back and watch the previous movies. But I recommend it.
I say watch the previous movies first, but that's all we gotta say. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie. What you think of our review? Was it accurate? Did you not like the movie? Let me know if you did. That's the end of this video. I'll catch you guys next time.